Welcome to today's episode of the Australian Lawn and Garden podcast. This is a special podcast. It's not a sit-down interview. This is a tour of a facility that produces 70 million seedlings a year. Brendan Winterporn from the Seedling Factory, that's the place, showed us everything from how they do the seedling trays to the automatic machines that put the seeds in, the soil they use, the climate-controlled rooms to propagate, even a room which apparently had more than $1 million of seeds in it. Anyways, it's a fascinating tour, one of the more interesting things I've done in the industry. Without further ado, here it is. So Brendan, welcome to the episode and thanks for having us.
No problem.
I don't want to wreck the work that anyone's doing, but these are the seedling trays, right?
Yeah, so basically when the trays come back from market gardeners, there's potential that they're diseased. So everything comes down here and it gets cleaned.
All right, let's go have a look. So we're here now. This is the washing facility, right?
Yep.
Why are we doing this?
Okay, so we're down in the darkest end of the nursery and we do that for a very good reason. Any disease that's coming back from a market garden comes here because we reuse the trays.
Right.
We used to chuck them out, use cheap ones, but we use more expensive ones, we reuse them. But to do that, we have to wash them, we have to sterilise them. So all potential disease comes back from a market garden, it comes here, we clean them out, we wash the trays, we stack them, and then we move them off to the production facilities.
Right, so I'm assuming this is a much safer method than just applying fungicides all the time.
100%. Yeah, right. Yeah. As properly sterilised, it's as automated as we can make it, almost. You still need someone making sure everything's running, right? But yeah, it's a good facility. Yeah, you can see, you can probably smell the chlorine, it's spotlessly clean. But yeah, we can run you through how it all works. So the trays will get destacked, put in one deep, as you can see. Then they'll come through here, they'll get brushed. Any loose sand and soil goes off them. They'll get not injected, but sprayed with chemical to clean them and sterilise them. The chemicals all recycled as much as we can. Then they pop out the other end and then they'll get stacked up by the pallet onto a pallet at the other end.
Right.
Ready to go again.
How many of these do you do a day?
There's, I think 360 trays on one of those pallets, and we get, it depends on the machine jam, but sometimes you get broken trays and stuff, so anywhere between 10 and like 20 pallets, you can get up to like 19, 20 pallets done a day.
So like 3.5 to 7,000.
Yeah, I'd probably say average day like 4 or 5, because sometimes we've got dirty trays more I've got, and so we've got to bang them out in between, so it takes a little time.
And that's trays, and there's 144 cells on each tray, because they're 12 by 12.
Yep.
So someone do the math for me.
Well, these trays are 144, but the forestry ones are 100. I can show you some of the trays later, but some of the trays are 512 right down.
So if they're 100, and you're doing
7,000 trays a day.
700,000
cells.
Gee, okay.
Yeah, it's a numbers game.
It is.
I mean, that's a pretty good day we get.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've
I'd
energy.
say more like 4 or 5 hours done in a day is the average day, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Let's go to the next section.
Yep.
So, Brendan, what's the most expensive part that people don't realise goes on with a facility like this?
I think it's the construction of it and everything, like you're pouring chemical and fertiliser and stuff and it's rusting all the time. So I think the ongoing maintenance of it is just like you can ignore it for 12 months, pump your numbers up, make them look great, but then you end up with a massive maintenance bill at the other end of it. So you've got to stay on top of your maintenance as you go along.
Right.
Also the amount of money we spend on chemicals.
But you mean fertilisers?
All of the above.
Right.
Yeah, I can show you through the mixing shed and the pump shed and everything. So, yeah.
And this up here, right? You were telling me before, this is soil from overseas.
Yep, it comes out of Europe. We bring it in by the 40-foot container. Yeah, it's a lot more expensive, but it's a lot better and a lot more consistent than what we can get locally. You literally ring them up, tell them what you're growing. They say, well, this is what we recommend, and yeah, so send them money.
If you use this chuck like sand in a seedling tray, what would happen compared to something like this?
Well, we still add more to that, and I can show you that, but it'd be a lot slower, it'd be a lot more inconsistent. You might get a really good result sometimes, you might get a crap result the next time.
Right.
So the biggest thing for us is consistency.
Right.
So if you've got a schedule with Coles that every Tuesday you're going to deliver 20,000 lettuce, and for some reason we give you in week 4 of that schedule, they're twice as big as the week before, and they're ready a week early, you look like an idiot to Coles. So they've all got to be the same.
You're thinking about the client in mind.
Yep.
You prefer consistency,
Yep.
so that they have their income and they know that their income's coming.
Yep.
They're necessarily optimising for the most growth.
No, growth, we don't really care what the top of the plant looks like. It's all about the root system. The bit you see will catch up. That's never an issue. It's always the root system that matters.
All right. What sort of plants are we growing here? Because I can see leeks over there, I can see some vegetables, but you're also doing a lot of stuff for carbon capture, right?
Yep, so we grow a lot of, predominantly veggies, so your typical lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, capsicums, broccolis, leeks, all that sort of stuff. Seedless watermelons. Then we also grow for as you said, the eucalyptus guys, that's just going crazy. So we're in on that, and then we're also going for strawberries, which is it's a whole thing all to itself. It's an interesting segment that I had no idea how big it was until we started getting in. I'll start here. I'll show you what happens to the soil. Then we'll go in there, and you'll see it being seeded. At the end, back at the nursery, I'll show you through the seed room, because there could easily be, I don't know, a couple of $1 million worth of seed sitting in the seed room.
Gee, what's the...
Well, again, you can't buy the seed as you go, right? So if you've got a 20-week program, I've got to buy all that seed, so it's the same seed all the way through. So it's one batch.
I'll ask you this now.
Yeah.
When you say it's an iceberg lettuce,
Yep.
Is that like a DNA certified thing?
I don't know. I can find out. The guys up there will know. I assume so. We buy the different... Thank you. We buy we don't tell the market gardeners what to grow. They'll come to us and either give us the seed, or they'll say to us, we want to grow 20,000 iceberg lettuce, please. And then we'll give them a price for that, and away we go.
All right. Because I'm assuming there's some sort of... Is it possible that someone out there could sort of be a bit of a scam artist and go, well, we said it was iceberg, it's a cheaper thing, or is it really that doesn't happen?
I've never seen it happen.
Okay.
The seed, you'll see it's highly regulated. Like you go to these seed merchants in Europe and you got to ride a bike through their seed warehouses. It's huge. It's not a little backyard operation.
Right.
Mars not there pulling seeds out the top of a lettuce.
Right.
That's not how it works. So what we've got here, we've got we used to get, this is why the shed's so high, because we used to get it tipped off and get soil locally so we could fit a semi in here, but that doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, all this soil will come in, the guys will break the bales down, they'll chuck it in, there's 3 mixers, they're all identical mixers, and it's simply, if one breaks down, away we go. They'll add a little tiny bit of water, and they'll add the Kentucky's 11 spices into it that we want in there, that's our thing. It gets mixed up, then it goes onto this conveyor belt. As you can see here, this one's working at the moment. And then it'll go into the production room.
All right. So this part here, we're going into the production shed, right?
Yep.
And this is where you take the soil, you take the seed. Is that where I'm getting?
So the soil that we've seen mixed outside comes inside, drops down into the hopper here. It then gets picked up, and the trays will come in through this side. They'll get destacked, there's another destacker, and the trays will get filled up with soil. And it's all automated. When the soil gets down too low, more will come in.
Right.
And it's all automated.
Is this ever do you have secret, you told me that the KFC spices before. Is it all secretive on how you use your stuff, or is it all pretty common knowledge?
It's all, what we put in it is not common knowledge, the extra bits and pieces, but what we do here is pretty typical of what you'd see, I'd suggest, almost anywhere in the world.
So the soil's come through here.
Okay, so we've filled up a tray with soil.
Yep.
Can I borrow that for a sec? So it's got too much soil in it, so it's full, just like that.
Yep.
It's now going to get scraped off. The soil will get collected and go back to the next one. Then it comes through here and it gets dimpled.
This is putting
a hole in each cell for the seed to settle in the correct distance down. So the seed's not sitting on the top, the seed will be sitting here.
Right.
So all the seeds, like these are broccoli seeds, but they're not blue. But all the seeds will go and get coated. And as you can see here, I've broken this one down. the seed might be tiny. Can't even see where it is. Anyway, the seed's in there. But the coating will protect it. It can also have a bit of fertiliser in it. You can put whatever you want in the coating. But it'll also, we can send the raw seed off. We buy it in coated, but especially with eucalyptus, you can send the raw seed off. They'll do germ tests, they'll clean it, they'll get rid of all the crap out of it, they'll coat it. So when it comes to us, the machines can pick it up a lot easier.
Is it important to be a certain size?
Well, we've got different size vacuums and different size drums. It's so consistent that we'll break open some seeds in the seed room and I'll show you.
Yeah.
But they're all about, well, they do get a bit bigger, but it doesn't really matter because this operates on a vacuum, and then as it turns around, it drops off the vacuum, and then it'll drop into the tray.
So what's this stuff here, mate?
This is vermiculite, so this will help with evaporation or stopping evaporation. It's like a crushed rock. You feel it. It's actually quite soft.
Right. Oh yeah.
It just provides some protection, basically.
Almost looks like fish scales or something.
No, it's a crushed rock of all things, but it's soft. It's strange stuff. So as you can see, everyone's perfect. Got one seed in it. There's no double. That's the other thing by coating them, you remove a lot of the issues with doubles. So then they pop out here. They'll get a drink.
How long have you had this machine?
We had the one at the last nursery we had was, well, that was there when we bought it, which was nowhere near as automated. This one's been here 3.5 years.
Right. So I'm assuming the cost of this is through the roof, but the labour you don't have to pay for.
Exactly right. And it doesn't take holidays, and it doesn't get old, and it doesn't fall over, and yeah, but it does drop them every now and again. Because then it comes here and gets stacked up, and you'll notice it offsets them by half a tray so that they don't squash.
Yeah, I see.
Stuff that other one up, but yeah, so I'll stack them 4 high, they're all offset. It'll spit that pellet out and get another, that pellet must nearly be full, I'd suggest, and it'll get another pellet in there. Ooh, oh no, it'll work, beautiful.
The robot's pretty good. So you got all the...
That's the vermiculite, that's the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also comes in from overseas, but I'm not sure where.
I think we're cutting corners a little bit here to get to the end, but this is the finished product. So is this ready to go out to...
So this is how the market gardeners will get it, and the big thing you'll notice here is the consistency. They're all the same,
right,
which is what the market gardeners are looking for. And they don't really care what this bit looks like. All they care is this bit. This bit will look after, if you get this bit right, this bit will look after itself. And so that's then exactly what you want.
They will then take this and plant it in their farm?
In their farm, in the ground. Yep. And then if it's a lettuce, it might be there for 6 weeks. If it's a squash or something, they'll start harvesting it after 4 weeks. Tomatoes might take 10 weeks, but they'll also get 3 flushes through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, what's the next section?
Okay, so it comes out of, gets stacked up, and then it comes into the germination chambers.
So this is a specialised room to help germination?
Yep, all at different temperatures.
Right.
Some stuff likes to be really cold, so this one's 10 degrees. Moment of truth, don't actually know what's in here.
So like air-conned?
Air-con, everything. Air-con, humidity.
Wow.
So they'll stay in here. I don't even know.
I know where I want to be in summer.
Yeah. Or they can turn them up hot too, depending what it is. This is more of that Aurora, so yeah, these will be little trials of something. Broccoli. So some stuff, what's this? Celery, leeks. So yeah, so basically if customer A orders 20,000 iceberg, customer B orders 20,000 iceberg, customer C orders 10, we've got a system, we'll put it all together, we'll seed 50,000, and then, you know, when it's come time, we'll pull them out and off they go. So we're not seeding 20 on this day and 20 on that day, we seed 50 in one lot.
So these start to germinate in these stacks?
Yeah, they will. They won't pop out the top, but the seed will germinate. Yeah, definitely.
And then how long are they in here before we take them somewhere else?
Depends what it is, 3 or 4 days. Right. On average, I would suggest.
So in 3 or 4 days, you're starting to get some minimal growth?
Yep. That seed will have hatched as such. There you go. That's the fog is trying to control the humidity. Because we've got the door open.
Because this is aircon, which would dry out the air.
And humidity too,
Sweet. And so then when we're finished this, where's it go after?
Then it'll go outside and just get laid out.
All right, let's go have a look.
The other thing we're doing is what's called grafting. So what we're doing with grafting is you'll take historically like a low producing or disease prone top half of a plant, and then you'll pair it with a very non-disease prone but strong bottom. So you might have, don't quote me, but I think the common ones are you'll get a top half of a tomato, and I think the bottom half they use pumpkin. I think so. They'll cut the plant in half. I'll show you, but they'll cut the plant in half, and then chuck that top out, chuck the poor bottom out, and I'll show you what happens next.
Right. So because the top half is producing a fruit that we want.
Yeah. So the top half will, like the tomato, they'll get sort of 3 times the harvest.
Ah.
But it's a manual process that costs a fortune.
Oh, right. And so these are all artificially lit too?
Yep. There's not many in here at all. It's the emptiest I've seen it. So if you ever wanted to grow lab, this would be the place to do it.
But this is warm and I can feel humid.
Yep. And these will stay in here for a lot longer. They're only stacked one high. They'll stay in here for weeks.
So these will be much more expensive to buy?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Like 5 times the price. So you can see what's happened here. They've cut, I don't know if I can get it close in, they've cut along there, so they've used a different bottom, different top, and used some grafting clips on them.
So one of the things that's coming to mind is we go to Coles or Woolies. Yep. This is essentially where our veggies are starting.
Yep.
I can start to understand why veggies are so expensive.
Yes and no. It's a hard one. If you look at what we sell the seedling for, like we might sell a lettuce seedling to a market gardener for around, I don't know, 5 or 6 cents per plant. They're the cheapest. A lettuce seed is about half of 1 cent for the actual seed. Then we've got to grow it, we've got to store it for 4 weeks. He'll sell that to Coles for 30 cents. And then you can work out what Coles are charging.
Right.
So, but Coles obviously have the wastage, the whatever, we don't sell it, the truck died on the way, whatever. So they have all the wastage.
Right. But I could come in here.
Yep.
If I was a market gardener, and I could feed my family lettuce for a year for
not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money.
I think they sell the seeds for lettuce are so cheap. I think they sell them. It's like $50 for 1,000 seeds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee.
Because it's so cheap. Let's see what's in this one. Okay, so this one's 26 degrees. This one's a lot hotter.
Oh.
Let's go that way.
They'll open different ways, don't you?
Yeah. So I don't know what's in here, but obviously different seeds, like different seedlings, like different stuff. Oh, there you go, pumpkin. So
and
pumpkins
the back
so we
door
can
opens,
take it out. Yeah, so we can take them out that way.
Yeah.
No, forklift.
Ah, forklift, right.
They've still got to be laid out. They won't go to a market garden like this. They've still got to be laid out for the next 6 weeks.
Let's go have a look where they get laid out.
Before we get too hot.
So is this where we're going to the sea room now?
No, we're going down the irrigation, the pump shed. Water's everything, and because the seedlings or the soil media is so small, in a hot day we might water 8-9 times a day. Yes. So if we're without power for 4 or 5 hours, you can sit here and watch $500,000 worth of stock die. So we've got generators. There's 4 bores, so that if one's dead, you're never going to run out of water. I think you've seen the amount of water tanks that are here. When we built the nursery, the fire department wanted us to put some more in. They made us put more in so they can use it as their water pickup. So it was a lot of money up front, but it's also a bit of a blessing. So
what I was going to ask before, right? Last year we had insane heat.
Yep.
Last 2 summers we had a lot of heat, basically no rain.
Yep.
Does that, even if you're watering all the time, just the consistent heat actually cause stock issues, cost you a lot of money?
Not really. You can put, you've got a control. You can use chemical to speed it up, slow them down, because you've still got to hit your marks of when that market gardener wants his delivery. So you've got, quite a few things in your arsenal you can use. Now this is the pump shed for the irrigation, which we're pretty proud of. It's not the cleanest I've seen it, but
I've never heard somebody say they're proud of a pump shed.
Yeah, well, it's beautifully laid out. It's got redundancy for redundancy. We've got injection for fertilizer. We've got the filtration. We've got the activated carbon. There's redundancy for redundancy. You know, there's 4 VFDs we can run on 3, I think, but even if that goes down, there's a big girl on the corner she'll just pump it out. Because one of the other big issues is frost.
Yes.
So what we have the ability to do is run, I think it's on a minute cycle, the whole nursery, just non-stop, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So also you'll do half on for a minute, half, and do it that way.
No, we don't get many frosts here.
You'll get a couple. The plants are a year. The plants are usually good for the first or second one, but the third and fourth one really, destroys them.
Well, because we're inland.
Yep.
Where it gets lower.
Yep.
At night.
Yep.
Near the coast where I live, I don't think it's ever been
No,
below
you don't
zero
get there.
in my lifetime,
Yep.
basically. But how often do you have an event like a massive heat wave or a big frost that wipes something out? Or was that something that was more common in the past and then you got these redundancies and now it's fine?
It's one of those things you set up for it and hope that it never happens. We have had some really bad frosts and lost a lot of stuff when we first set it up. We're trying to get it all working properly. I'm trying to think. I think we've probably had 2 really bad ones in 10 years here, but not for a long time now. The other one's hail, so we've got hail nets up now. I mean, at the end of the day, they're a little plant, and
not really sure. And what sort of like numbers are we talking about in terms of like how many seedlings were damaged or how many were lost?
I think the worst frost we had, I think we lost about $500,000 worth of stock in. Literally, you could sit there and just watch it turn black. That was that. It was 10 minutes. That was wonderful. And good phone calls to have to make to your customers too.
Gee.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing is like you've lost the money.
Yep.
But they are also upset at you.
Yep, and because they're not going to get any money either, and it's not like they can go to someone else and say, "Hey, have you got, 100,000 salary for me?" Because everything's grown to order, so you don't have that many.
Do you have it in your contract or something that people can't cancel, or is it?
They pay deposits up front. We've had a few market gardeners that have come to, like we go to them and say, hey, what's your program for this year? They'll go, I'm actually having a smaller program this year because not that I'm pissed off with you, just I simply can't get staff to harvest it.
Yeah.
So we've gone a smaller program. We had an issue at our other nursery at the old place with, it was horrific. Something kept killing all the plants every 8 weeks. Like we didn't know if it was sabotage. We had no idea what it was.
Drop bears?
Drop bears, who knew?
Yeah.
So anyway, we literally had to send a letter to every customer saying, we don't know why our plants are dying. You need to go to another nursery and buy from them. Right. So in the end, we worked out what it was, put in places to stop it. But in the meantime, some of our competitors had been to some of the marketing guys and said, yeah, we'll help you out, but only if you sign a 2-year supply contract and all this sort of thing, which was nice of them. So,
it's competition, isn't it?
Yeah, these things happen. So, anyway.
These are some pretty big leaks.
Yeah, I'd suggest they'll be spares or leftovers, or they're leaks, obviously. They don't usually get that big. They'll be going to a bin, I'd suggest.
Mate, you can just buy them at Coles almost as they are now.
Just about, yeah. They'll be root bound, as I would have thought. Yeah, they're not going to grow. Oh, root's actually all right. They might be going out, but I'd suggest they're because they have to get cut. We'll cut them as well. We'll mow them. So yeah, these are leaks, but yeah, they get laid out here. This is the hail net I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So a lettuce might sit here for 4 weeks in the middle of summer. Bit longer in winter, obviously.
So these are pretty fresh out of where we just came
These
from?
would be a week old if I had to put a number on it.
Right. And as they get more mature, do they move or do they stay
No,
where they are?
the ones in the greenhouses sometimes will move, but normally they'll just stay here now.
Is there any reason why you would have something in the greenhouse and not? Is it different type
depends
of
where it's
plant?
going. So if it's going up to Carnarvon, you want it in a more humid environment. Depends what it is. It might be a variety that grows better in summer, and they want it to start. They want their first delivery in, I don't know, beginning of October. So you're trying to grow it in spring. So you want to try and make it a bit hotter.
Right. So the way that you prepare it in here
Yep.
helps it be ready for the climate
Exactly.
it's going to be at.
100%. Yep.
And for those like you, we didn't say this before, but you guys are shipping these up or trucking these up
Yep.
all the way to the top of WA.
So these will go Broome, Carnarvon, Geraldton, Gingin, Albany, Manjimup, yeah,
And the
Newshay.
for those who don't know, like the WA is huge.
Yep.
And it's it's the second biggest subdivision in the world. There's only one in Russia that's bigger.
Oh, there you go.
So to be in one state, the climate is not even. It's like being in a completely different country.
Yep.
So it's quite interesting that you can supply even up there from here.
Even when they go to Carnarvon, which is only, what, 8 hours, 9 hours away, they'll still go in a refrigerated truck up there.
So when you go to Broome, it's like 20 hours, something like
Yep,
that.
longer
24.
in a B-double.
Right, so are they getting watered in there?
Nope. No,
Right.
no, but it's all refrigerated, it's cold, so they're effectively going to shut down,
Right.
and then they come out and life's good.
Right. I can imagine the expense for that delivery is not cheap.
It's all just passed on though, right? It is what it is. Often we just say to the customer, this is the price at the nursery gate. You organise your own transport.
Right.
But like Carnarvon, they're good. They all get together and they fill a truck up. We don't send 6 half-full trucks up. They're just
Yeah.
full trucks go up.
Which market gardener is buying the French penny?
If someone's pulled some from home or wants to put
Yeah,
some
they're
somewhere.
using the water.
Yeah, yeah. Or
do
the
you know
good soil.
I
Yeah.
like the ingenuity though.
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, I would do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the most expensive seedling if I'm going to buy something
To
here? You're
buy-
saying 5-6 cents for a lettuce, right?
Yep, and the grape tomatoes are about 85 cents a seed
Right.
for one seed. Eucalyptus, in terms of the price out the door in the nursery, the tomatoes are expensive. The eucalyptus are expensive because they're here for 6 months,
Ah, yeah, of course.
whereas lettuce is only here for 4 weeks. Yeah, eucalyptus seed's cheap.
How often do you have to fertilise, do product applications?
Oh, well, it's all automated, right? Because I suppose every day, because as the water comes in, they're adjusting the EC, they're adjusting the pH.
So it's fertigation.
Yep, as it goes along. We still obviously spray. I'm surprised they're not spraying today, but we still spray most days, I'd suggest.
Is it pretty consistent, the stuff that you need to use?
Yeah, very. Yep.
Do you have like teams of people who do analysis on the plants just to check?
We've got one of the issues with the nursery is the staff turnover, in that it's incredibly low, and which is great in some ways, not great in others. But there's a huge amount of intellectual knowledge there that the guys have got in-house,
Right.
and we probably need to get better at taking that out of these guys' brain. They'll take one look at something and go, oh, that needs this,
Right.
and they'll go and spray for it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you or I are out here like, oh shit, what do we do now?
It's actually quite interesting how that happens. People,
Yes.
they create all these scientific methods. And
Yep.
there's some guy who's been doing it since the 1960s.
Yep.
He just looks at it and squints and he'll know.
Yep, exactly right. So yeah, these are the strawberries.
Are we allowed to walk in there?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go. So they're growing down,
Yeah, these haven't been in very long.
but you're taking cuttings from
Yep.
these.
Yep, so we'll take cuttings and then we will put them in the trays like anything else. They'll go in the germ chambers in the lighted room that you saw. They'll go in there.
So you would get strawberries growing on these?
Yep,
Do you just eat them yourself?
100%.
So basically this cutting's going to get cut off.
Yeah, but they'll come down to here, and
Right.
don't quote me, I think they end up with 100 and something cuttings per runner.
Wow. So you wait till they get down,
Yep.
cut them all up, almost like a tissue culture.
Yep, exactly right.
Right.
Yep, put them in those trays you've seen. Then they'll go in the rooms to get rooted, and then they'll come out and get
Right.
laid out. I think there's some out here. They look like new bags ready to get hung up. But I think I had no idea how big the strawberry industry is as such. It's all changing. Like there's green strawberries coming, there's white strawberries coming. There's strawberries that you're going to eat like an apple. They're going to be that sort of size coming. The investment in it is just mega.
So why do you think there's so much more investment in strawberries?
It's just such a huge industry. It's just there's so much worldwide interest in it, and it's just for whatever reason. I think they've been trying to grow strawberries from seed for 20 years. They've been trying to get it right as such, but
Right.
we're doing trials for them now. It's very close. Very, very close. So basically we put we'll put an igloo in, then you'll put rows of trays in. Yeah, so all the water's in, we've done a big expansion down the bottom. Yeah.
How big is this facility?
This facility is 40 acres. We've got enough water to run the whole thing, which is a big issue, getting enough water. At the moment, I'd need to have a look, I think we're using about half of it.
And do you want to grow it more, or is it limited by the market?
A bit of both. You know, you're never going to get 100% market share, and you wouldn't want it anyway, I don't think. We're sort of staying in our lane a bit. You know, the population's growing. They're growing more seedlings every year. It's doing very well. We've got a really good team down here.
Well, you can't grow it because what we were saying off air is that you can't ship these across the border.
No. And
So
no one can ship in here either.
You're limited, so 70 million, you're telling me there are places in California doing $1 billion?
Yep, for one customer.
For one customer.
Yep. And you look in Europe, but they're doing mega numbers as well. But of course, within an hour's drive, they're in 3 different countries. And they
Population density is
exactly
huge.
right. They don't have the quarantine issues.
90% of Perth's population is within an hour drive of
Exactly
here.
right. Yep.
So, and the growth is,
You know, because the market gardens were in Osborne Park, then they went to Wanneroo. Now they're up in Mushea and Gingin. And Carnarvon's huge for us. Geraldton's big for us.
so when you go and buy your veggies,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You're basically part of you would probably get them from the shop. I'm guessing you don't grow them at home.
Nope.
It's one of those things where it's like the
actually,
hairdresser's
I lie.
hair is messy,
No,
the
it's
mechanics.
actually really interesting. The market gardeners always bring their best produce in here and they'll give it to the staff. So
Right.
I suggest the staff here aren't buying a lot of veggies themselves. And every time I come down, there's always something to take. But yeah, you wouldn't, I still have to go to the fruit and veg shop.
But what I'm saying is, like, there must be a certain level of satisfaction to be part of the business.
Yes.
That's delivering the vegetables.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it's not like we're doing something, you're not digging oil out of the ground or like no one's upset at you for growing veggies, right? It's nice.
The carnivore diet's getting a bit more
Yeah,
popular.
yeah,
but
true.
I don't think they're whinging too much about this.
No.
And the carbon capture side.
Yep.
I mean, the whole carbon debate gets complicated and
Very.
technical, but I don't
And it
understand.
can die tomorrow.
I don't really see if people have a problem either with the idea of putting trees in the ground. You know, like even if someone's against the whole carbon thing, birds get stuff and you know, bare lands now green.
Having had a fair bit to do with a few things I'm not yet would change but the way that it's structured is how they have to do it, and it's going by cheap farmland, put a heap of trees on it, and that's your thing. It's not structured around solving desalination issues or anything like that. It's going by cheap farmland, put your trees on it, forget about them for 40 years, and that's your credits. So yeah, there's a few things I'd like to see change in that market, but that's just growing exponentially quickly. Some of the numbers they're talking are just silly. You know, you hear stories that Qantas want to make jet fuel out of eucalyptus oil, and who knows?
I mean, that would be interesting.
It would be very interesting, and I'll
Very
help them grow the eucalyptus for it. So,
well, that's probably where the rest of you're capped out in the veggie market.
yeah, effectively. I mean, you
Go
can
for
always
eucalyptus.
pick one up here, but you're going to lose one there, and it is what it is. You know, the market when we started was a lot of Italians and Czechoslovakians, those sort of ethnicities. Now it's a lot of Vietnamese. But what we're seeing is as the kids are getting older, they don't want to be out there picking lettuce at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're educating themselves, they're going to uni, so I don't know who the next one's going to be and how far out they're going to have to go.
Well, this is where I think people get worried about robots stealing jobs.
Yeah,
But the reality is, in a lot of industries, because you're obviously doing environmental industries as well, robot lawnmowers, people are worried about them, but if you can't find staff, like the robots in these sorts of jobs that are less attractive.
I've got a standing order for an autonomous fairway mower if someone can bring me one.
Yeah, okay. See what I can do.
So this is the seed room. So this is how seed will come in.
It's cold in here?
It's cold, it's always cold. Well, there you go. So this is 5,000 lettuce,
Which,
for example. The variety, we can open it up. So yeah, that's how they come.
with the coating.
And with the coating, and lettuce seeds are really small. If we can, sometimes, there we go. So we've got one here. There it is. There's the seed there. There's 2 in there actually. Look at that. Got lucky. So yeah, but that's Yeah, less than a cent.
What's the most expensive seed in here?
It will be some of the
I'm
grape,
thinking it's
grape
Enzo.
tomatoes.
Enzo sounds expensive.
Yeah, bro. Which ones are you expensive? Watermelon? Oh, more watermelon? They'll all look the same though, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because they're all coated.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's not. Was that open? You open that?
that's.
Oh no, that was
that's
closed.
That's $6,000.
$6,000.
Well, some of your other ones are more, aren't they?
So this is $6,000 of seeds. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you can get tomato ones like that. It'd be more than 10.
Tomatoes, you can get some tomatoes where one seed is $1.50.
Right. And if you've got 1,000 seeds,
So these are a watermelon seed.
right.
Again, coated, but a much bigger seed.
Yeah, right.
Some customers give us their own seed. Where are most of your seeds coming from? Holland, Israel?
Israel.
Well,
You still get stuff out of there at the moment?
yes, but no, it's Israel, but it's generally grown in some other third world country.
Yep.
Right.
And where's it all coated?
A lot of it's in Europe. We would get some of our stuff coated here,
Yeah.
which you can still get done through ink technique in Melbourne.
Yep.
Except at the moment, because of the new tomato rugus virus, we can't get stuff.
Oh wow.
Can't get tomatoes, capsicums, or chilies coated. We can, but then they won't land into the state.
Yep.
Because the virus now is when a package it comes in, it has to stay in that packaging because it's been tested and cleared. You open the packet up, it's deemed.
Yeah. Okay.
So if they open the packet up and palletize it, it's got to be
Tested.
tested.
Yeah. Wow.
So at the moment, they're in a bit of a no man's land as to where we go. So we can order it and take the risk, but like we've just got some seed in now. We've got 100,000 seed in, which would have sat there to be pelletized. Now I've got raw seed, and it's a cherry tomato. It's a tiny seed, so pelletized makes it bigger,
Yeah.
handy as you know.
Yeah.
So that one there, I mean, it only costs us a couple of cents to get pelletized, but it saves us in labour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other end.
Because we don't have to patch it because it's guaranteed.
Yep. Yep.
So until we know what's happening with the rugus
Yeah. Interesting.
See the biggest one there, they've come to discover that the rugus virus tends to come out of Turkey,
Oh wow.
and it's come out of seed tested in Turkey.
Oh wow.
So now anything that's been tested in Turkey is now
Oh okay. Got to start again.
can't do it.
Wunderbar.
Thanks for showing us
No
around, mate.
problems. Anytime.
Fascinating. And next time I'm eating a salad, I'm going to think of you.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
think
right.
every time now. I don't know if that's a bit weird. I'm just telling you the truth.
Not me, but the team down here. I don't get involved too much, but yeah.
But anyways, people, thanks for sticking around. And if you like this sort of content, subscribe. We'll see you in the next podcast.